So this is Google Ads Keyword Planner tool. It's a really useful and free tool that's going to let you determine whether Google Ads is, first of all, a good fit, and then it's going to dive into the specifics of, search volume, cost, and really help you figure out whether this is a channel that's worth testing for you or some of the business you're working with. So you have to have a Google Ads account to be able to access it, which is very sneaky of Google, because the idea for them is once you're actually in there, you're more likely to start spending money on Google Ads, but it is free, so all you have to do is create an account to get access to it. So keywords are the backbone of using Google Ads, and this tool helps you, first of all, come up with ideas for potential Google Ads you can use, and it also gives you kind of detailed kind of data on, cost, search volume, etc. So you can figure out at kind of a pretty quick glance whether this might be profitable for one of the businesses that you're working with. So you can see here, this is the main page, and you access this via your Google Ads account using the tools section. I'll dive into this much deeper in the course itself. But there's two kind of main parts to this. Discover new keywords, which helps you come up with ideas for Google Ads, and then get search volume, which lets you figure out whether things are going to be profitable for you. So let's start off with discover new keywords, because this is a really, really handy tool. So you can either start with a keyword. So obviously I've created this Google Ads course, so I'm going to use that just as an example. But you could start off with a website as well. If I wanted to find out what Google Ads might be relevant for digital mums, I could just type in digital mums and it will kind of help pull some out. Again, you probably need a bit of a mix of both to really make sure that you're getting all the potential keywords that might be useful for you. So I recommend just kind of playing around with it. And it doesn't have to be your website or your business's website. It can be competitors, etc. So it's a pretty useful tool. So let's go with Google Ads course and let's see what ideas it comes up with. So here I get this nice chart which shows a year's worth of data of like how many people have been searching. And then if I go down, I have this useful table which says, what the average monthly search is for the term, whether there's a low or high competition, and roughly what I can expect to actually have to pay per click. So here I can see that Google Ads course is a pretty solid search term. It's got 4,400 monthly searches across the world. So I went across the world because this is a digital product. Obviously, if you have a physical product that you have to send to people, or a more kind of cohorted sort of course, you might go just the UK or just Europe or wherever. But for now, I just wanted to get a sense of around the world what's the monthly searches like. So I can see the competition is low, which is good. That obviously, the higher it is, the more expensive you're going to have to spend per Google ad. Doesn't mean that it's not worth using them, but it just means that you have to be a bit kind of sharper in the Google ads that you use. But you can see here, I've got all these keyword ideas off the back of typing in Google Ads course. And I can see Google Ads fundamentals, Google AdWords course, Google Ads training, Google AdWords training, etc., etc. So, and again, there's a big long tail of, AdWords training, AdWords fundamentals. These are things I probably wouldn't have thought of, and that's really useful because initially I had 4,400 searches per month, which is good and definitely worth kind of probably going forward with, but this has given me thousands and thousands more potential monthly searches and more keywords to try, because actually this Google Ads course keyword, what you'll find is sometimes that won't work, but randomly this AdWords fundamentals one might work really well, even though it's low volumes, for example. So it really is a useful tool for giving you just a long list of things that might be useful to start trialing out. So again, I really recommend using this tool, and it helps you get a sense of whether it is viable for the business you're working with. So let's go back and let's check out the other tool that it has, which is get search volume and forecast. So I'm going to type in Google Ads course here as well. You can type in as many keywords as you want here. You can even upload a spreadsheet with like hundreds. So because obviously it's just going to give you all of that data, and then you could actually like export that into a handy spreadsheet for yourself. So let's go like kind of further up the funnel, because obviously we have a Google Ads course, but then let's check out like general digital marketing course. Again, this probably isn't going to be relevant because Google Ads course is not really going to match or an actual Google Ads course is not going to match the intent of somebody typing in digital marketing course, but I'm just interested to see what are the sort of search volumes for each of those. So I'm going to type those in. Social media marketing course, let's type in marketing course. Again, these aren't really great ideas. I'm just kind of rolling with it for now. So let's search that, and you can see it just gives me a really headline figure of like how many conversions I can expect to get, how much I'm going to spend in total, and what's the CPC. So at a glance, I can see, okay, my landing page, let's say it converts at like 10%, I make £500 per sale, so I know, okay, 10%, it's going to be £13,500. That's more than enough to cover that cost. So at a glance, I can tell, again, it's not going to be this exact, obviously, you have to test it, but it just gives me at a glance whether or not this is worth kind of investing in and testing it. And then obviously here is the table with detailed data on, how many clicks it has, how many impressions each keyword has, what's the cost going to be, the click-through rate, and the CPC. So again, this just gives you, in my opinion, a really good view as to whether this is worth testing out. So it is a really useful tool, and in a relatively short amount of time, you can figure out whether Google Ads is potentially worth testing for a business that you're working with. So I really recommend using it, and obviously we'll go into much deeper detail into how to use this effectively in the Google Ads for Business growth course. So looking forward to seeing you on that.